When you think about world-changing technology, your mind probably jumps to things like the microchip, maybe the internet. But what if one of the most important inventions in all of human history was way simpler? Something you probably have in your backyard for a barbecue. Today, we're talking about the unsung hero of human progress, charcoal. It's a weird question, right? What could a weekend grill possibly have in common with our earliest ancestors? Well, the connection is actually profound. It all comes down to solving one of humanity's biggest challenges: how to create, and more importantly, control really high-energy heat. And that simple black substance, well, that was the key.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to journey from the earliest campfires right up to the dawn of metallurgy. Then we'll get into the simple science that makes charcoal so incredibly powerful. And finally, we'll see how this ancient tech is, believe it or not, still shaping our world today.
Okay, so before we could invent anything, we had to do one thing: survive. And for early humans, that meant mastering fire. Now, this wasn't some single aha moment. It was a long, slow, and probably pretty dangerous process of taming one of nature's most powerful forces.
What's just staggering when you look at this is the sheer scale of time we're dealing with. We're talking about a million-year journey. A million years from just finding a fire started by lightning to finally being able to create one whenever you wanted. And you know how we know all this? The key evidence that archaeologists find is often ancient charcoal. It's like the fossilized fingerprints of these very first campfires.
And this is absolutely crucial. Controlling fire wasn't just about staying warm or scaring away predators. It fundamentally changed us. The whole idea behind the cooking hypothesis is that cooking our food unlocked way more nutrients, and scientists believe that extra energy is what fueled the growth of our larger, more complex brains. Fire didn't just protect our bodies, it literally built our minds.
Okay, so humanity is getting pretty good at this point. We've mastered fire, we've got sophisticated stone tools, we're surviving. But the next great leap forward, working with metals, was completely stalled. We were hitting a wall. Or, to be more precise, a temperature ceiling. This number right here, this was the problem: 1,083 degrees Celsius. That's how hot you have to get things to smelt copper out of rock. That's the gateway to the Bronze Age. And for thousands and thousands of years, it was a temperature that humanity just could not reach. And this is it. This is the solution. A standard wood fire, as hot as it feels, just doesn't get you there. Not even close. But charcoal, it burns significantly hotter, easily clearing that 1,083-degree hurdle. This wasn't just a small improvement, this was the technological breakthrough that solved the temperature problem and literally unlocked the age of metals. But wait, it gets even better. Charcoal wasn't just hotter, it was also smarter. You see, it did more than just melt the ore. It also acted as a chemical, what's called a reducing agent. It literally pulls oxygen atoms away from the rock to free up the pure metal. Plus, it burns super cleanly, which meant the final metal was much purer. So you've got heat, chemistry, and purification, all from one amazing substance.
So, we know charcoal was a total game changer, but why? What is it that makes it so much better than the wood it comes from? Let's dive into the science because it's actually pretty simple and really cool.
This table pretty much says it all. The process of making charcoal is called pyrolysis. You're basically just baking wood in a place with very little oxygen. What that does is it forces all the water and other gunk to burn off, and what's left behind is almost pure, concentrated carbon. And look at the results. You get nearly double the energy, it burns more than twice as long, it's basically smokeless, and it's way more efficient. It is a massive upgrade in every single category. And this chart just drives that main point home. For the exact same weight, you are getting dramatically more energy out of charcoal. This efficiency is what changed everything. It meant you had to gather less fuel, carry less fuel, and store less fuel to get the same job done, whether that job was heating your home or running a giant forge. And you know, these scientific advantages had a huge impact on just daily life. Less smoke meant your house wasn't constantly filled with choking fumes, so you had healthier homes. A stable, hot flame meant you could actually cook food reliably. And that longer burn time, it meant you didn't have to wake up over and over again in the middle of a cold night just to feed the fire. That's a simple luxury that must have felt like magic.
So it's pretty clear charcoal was instrumental to our past, but it would be a huge mistake to think of it as just some old-timey technology we've left behind. The fascinating truth is, we haven't at all. It's still an absolutely crucial material today. All right, so just to quickly recap the science we talked about. Charcoal is what you get from pyrolysis. That's just the fancy word for heating wood in a low-oxygen environment. This super simple process is what purifies and concentrates the carbon, creating that powerful, efficient fuel that changed the world.
And I promise you, its legacy is all around you right now. The activated carbon in your water filter, that's charcoal. It's still a critical ingredient for making clean steel. In the form of biochar, it's helping improve soil for farming. And of course, the best chefs in the world still swear by it for its incredible heat and flavor. From life-saving filters to gourmet food, charcoal is still hard at work.
So this is where we'll end. Charcoal proves that a seemingly simple innovation, just figuring out a different way to burn wood, can completely change the course of human civilization. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What are the simple, maybe overlooked innovations of our own time that could end up being just as transformative for the future?